Yeah, the problem I have, yeah, with all of this, yeah, is that when you're born here as a British-born ethnic, especially if you're ethnic British-born Muslim, they kind of see us as a threat, physical threat, psychological threat, religious threat, ethical threat, moral threat. Because I've had this life where people didn't like the fact that I had these really nice attributes about me, about being a nice guy and being a good Muslim and using good Muslim attributes about speaking about, you to be a Muslim, you need to be able to speak truth. Do you understand? Like, you have to be honest, right? Truth and justice and all that, right? Now, what I found was that when I complained about racism, right wing racism, when I grew up in Luton with around the BNP and the National Front and all that in their golden era, and I got into loads of fights and scuffles with them and that, I only saw racism as a very kind of right wing thing, as one, kind of a section of society that doesn't really like us, that belongs on the right wing, and that's what we were taught. And obviously, that side does exist, right? And it's been less and less um, popular now, and it seems like there's less of right wing racism, or it's just gone completely underground in the right wing communities. Yeah, I mean, we don't really know for sure what's happened to right wing racism. Maybe people have got a little bit less racist, but what I have noticed is racism from the left wing, and this tends to happen in adult life, or if you are in some way or form competitive. I've had this where in school I was like more clever than, like, let's say the cleverest white guy in the class, and the cleverest white guy start crying and that. Do you see what I mean? Things like this would happen. The teacher's favorite pet white guy, and I'd beat him and maths tests and everything and that. And then I just kind of stopped doing it because he kept crying and bitching and that to the teacher, and the teacher kept giving me half funny looks and that, like, oh, let him win kind of thing, yeah. And obviously, I was good at like sports and football as well, so then it upset all the other aspects. So, like, do you know what I mean? Any of the competitive NFB and people that are into sports didn't like me because they thought, this Asian guy is willing to flip and bite back. Yeah, and obviously even other ethnics, blacks, and that didn't like me being a sporty kind of Asian guy, because London people in general, like what I noticed around there, black and white people in London, they're not used to Asian people playing sports and that. From what I saw, especially in South London, they weren't used to us joining in. Like, all the Asian people I saw, they were too scared to play football or PE or games in school. Yeah, there was a bit of this, yeah, and I was the only person willing to step in. People looking at me like I'm mad, like, oh, don't you know the coup? These man just wanna wreck us, bro. Don't play with these. These are rough. I already got over that barrier, sports barrier and physical barrier, when I was young. Do you see what I mean? Like, because I used to play with all the rough skinheads and stuff like this, yeah, football, on and off the pitch. You know what I mean? Fuck about with them, this, that, yeah, fuck with them, yeah, right? So I kind of got all of that kind of physical right wing side of racism, abuse, face to face bullying, all that kind of shit. I kind of knew how to deal with it, in a sense, yeah. Now, what's happened is that when you grow up, you get this left wing racism in a workplace or in education. In university, I was like always, and college and school, I was always given lesser grades than other people. It just kept happening. I don't know why they kept doing it to me, but they did. Um, Now, in terms of immigration, what I found is, if you're a British-born intelligent man with British degree, from British institutions, not from third world countries, not from third world broken countries, from British institutions with the flipping British embossed stamps, the Queen's stamp on the blasted flipping degree, yeah? Her Majesty's stamp, yeah, was on my degree. Do you understand? Like, yeah, and my passport and shit, yeah? So, what I'm saying, yeah, is that what happened with the immigrants is, when there's like rich immigrants or middle class immigrants, they bring them in this country and they treat them well because obviously they got money to come here on the green card, the official way, this and that. So them kind of immigrants are seen as, oh, it's wicked, international cosmopolitan life in London, UK, this and that. Oh, wicked, yeah, for them. And then also you got the middle class and let's say the poor ethnics, uh, and middle class and upper class. So the rich upper class and middle class, the Arabs, the rich Indians, and that come over from India, Arabia, Dubai, this, that, all these rich Asians, Middle Easterns, and that, they get to come over here. They think it's great here because they're seeing zone one, like all the sick areas, Knightsbridge, Chelsea, this and that. They kind of stay to the pre-designated, safe to grey areas, or what's reckoned to be grey areas, zone 1 to some of the countryside areas. They get to see, these immigrants, rich ones, more of England than we get to see. They get invited to all these castles and shit and all these nooks and crannies of the countryside that we don't even fucking know about in our own country. Do you know what I mean? Our own cultural heritage, we don't even fucking know anything about it. Our own castles, you know what I mean? Our own countryside. We got no appreciation for it because no one's taught us about any of it. No one's taught us anything about any of it. You know, the countryside and all this stuff, like all the beauty of England's been kept away from us. We've just been shoved in urban city London and just told to work like a bunch of fucking slaves without being called slaves. That's basically it is. It's basically what it is. EU freedom of movement, flipping slavery, flipping cattle stock. You know what I mean? Do all the rubbish work, do all the flipping Uber gig economy jobs, do the stock flipping shelves and all that. Yeah, Tesco's, this and that. Do all the shit jobs. Hostel jobs, hotel jobs, this, that, do all this shit stuff. Yeah, that's what I want the working class, working economy to do and cater for itself in that way. And with the poor immigrants, if you're working class, British born, ethnic like me, Muslim, there's no assistance here because they think that oh, you're British born and that, pick yourself up, get on with it. Stiff upper lip, this and that. No one owes you nothing. Get on with it, kind of attitude, yeah? But with these immigrants, like even the poor ones, it's like they're welcomed in and they're given assistance and that into work, into training and things like this, yeah? If I ask about these things, they don't really want to entertain me because they'll say, oh, you're past this age, or oh, you've got a degree already, so none of this can apply to you. And then they'll try and make me do jobs or training courses which have got nothing to do with actually improving my prospects, and they still force me to do it and waste my time on these things, right? Now, anyway, you see these immigrants, the British left wing, they know that they have to kind of like give a warm welcome to the immigrants. So the immigrant ethnics and that get a warm welcome and treated better than us, no matter what part of the social economic ladder they're on. They will always get like treated with like a fairly warm welcome, given assistance. But if you're actually an ethnic Asian Muslim black person born here, you ain't getting that help. And I've noticed it's more and more Asian Muslim men, people just think we're the worst guys, like we're just wife beaters, violent, aggressive, ISIS, Wahhabis, this and that. They think, but you know the worst thing is, we're like the fucking nicest guys out of everyone. Do you know what I mean? All the bitches and that should be fighting for us and that. Do you know what I mean? For being good guys. Like, yeah, when I used to act, like, when I was younger and that, you know what I mean? I used to just fucking play up to shit when I knew what women were like even here. You know, just try to pretend to act like a bad man, this and act like gangster and that. They all fucking believe it. They don't know the difference between fucking someone who's just a fashion gangster and someone who actually is real. Like with me, I speak all straight normal English like an intelligent person, but I'm willing to fight and that. But a lot of these people that look like gangster and that and this and that, yeah, they've never had a fight in their life. Loads of people I know. And even if they have had fights, yeah, they've lost them all. You know what I mean? Yeah? Right? That's what all I know about them. Enough said there. Do you get me? Like, you know, any fights I had, I pretty much won, bruv. Or like pretty much stamped down my authority that I don't take shit. Either, to some level. Anyways. But yeah, these immigrant people, they get a lot more help than we do. Like British born ethnics and that, not really treated with the same level of respect. It's like our problems are not seen as like in our head, or we're making it up, or inferior or menial. And they always like to compare other people's poor people to us. Oh, these you ain't poor like those people in Pakistan or Palestine and that. These you ain't begging for food on the floor. They'll always use that curveball. Well, why don't you say that to the bankers? Why don't you say to the bankers, innit? Oh man, you lot fucked up the country, you nicked all this money and that. You know, you should be grateful, yeah, at least you ain't eating shit off the floor, like in Pakiland. Why don't we say this to the bankers? But the thing is, we only use this type of language towards poorer people, working class people. No one would dare say it to a rich person. I'll fucking say it to rich people. And I have said it to rich people and they get pissed, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like, when they say to me, hey, you need to get in there and work your way up, say, motherfucker, did you work your way up? Show me you're working your way up path, your noble path. Yeah, your noble path. Your fucking Thundercats trials. Yeah, show me where you did it, you cunt. Trial of strength, trial of speed, trial of flipping mind. Yeah, trial of evil. See, did you do it? That's what these all make it sound like. Fucking idiots, bruv.